If you remember in our last video, we left you guys right as we were pulling into this national forest near Camp Verde, Arizona. We had just pulled in to a site, and since the sun was setting, it was just the first site we found, so we just pulled on in and stayed the night there. And then the very next day, we unhooked the truck and just drove all around in the Coconino National Forest looking for that ideal site, and we found it. This site is big enough for probably 2 rigs, so there was plenty of room for us to pull in and maneuver around to face the trailer the exact direction that we wanted to. And I highly advise that anyone else that's towing a trailer or even bringing a motor home and having towing a toad behind it, I highly advise that you do that too. You know, you just kind of take that first site that you can find, unhook your tow vehicle or your toad, and then just go tearing through the national forest roads unencumbered by your trailer or your motorhome. It's just so much more fun, so much less stressful, and so much easier to find that ideal site. Also in last week's video, we talked about the downsides to boondocking, and I forgot one of them that I meant to mention, and that is for you guys and gals that enjoy having clean stuff. You know, maybe you got a nice new truck, nice new toad, or a nice new rig, and you like keeping it clean. If you plan on boondocking very often in the national forest, then just throw that out the window. I mean, look at my truck. This thing, I just cannot keep it clean. Even if I were to go into town and wash it, as soon as I drive it back down these dirt roads, it's just gonna instantly get dirty again. And if it's been raining, those roads are just gonna be muddy and it's just gonna get filthy. So trying to wash my truck, keep it clean, is just a total waste of time and money. And the last time I washed it was actually in January of this year, so it's been like 11 months. And the only reason I did that is because we were staying with Jenny's grandparents, and her grandpa just kept making fun of me for how dirty my truck was. So I was like, all right, Grandpa, fine. Finally washed it, but I haven't since because we're not with him. He can't make me. I'm just kidding, love you, Grandpa. But seriously, like, you just cannot keep your truck clean, so just don't even bother. And these national forest roads are so bumpy that they just vibrate the heck out of everything when you're driving down them. And case in point is my truck cap lid won't close anymore because the latch here, there's a screw that goes in right there, and that screw just vibrated loose and fell out while we were driving down the road. I have no idea where it went. It's not in the bed here anywhere, where it probably just fell out the bottom of the tailgate. So yeah, my truck cap won't close anymore. At least that's easy enough to fix, so it's not really a big deal. I just have to take another one of those screws, take it into a hardware store, match it up, and we're good to go.
Now, David and I didn't plan on being snowbirds this year. It just kind of worked out that way. And if you have never heard of the term snowbirding before, basically what it is as humans, we follow the weather like birds do. So like birds in wintertime will typically migrate south to warmer weathers. So that's kind of what snowbirding is. And we almost always have ended up in Arizona, where we are now. And in our opinion, Arizona is the best place to snowbird. There is just so much free BLM and national forest camping out here that you can basically stay in Arizona all winter and not even really stay on the same section of BLM land or national forest land. And it's really, really nice, which compared to other states like California, where it's also really nice and warm down there, they just don't have the amount of BLM land and national forest space that Arizona does. Now, compared to other states like Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico, those all have much higher elevation, so even right now, it's already getting too cold to stay there. For example, here near Camp Verde, our highs have been in the upper 70s and lows in the low 40s, but even when it gets into the colder part of winter in January and February and March, it's actually going to be too cold here in Camp Verde to snowbird as well. Compared to California even, California is so expensive. Even if you're just staying on free land, you're going to be spending so much more in fuel costs. Here near Camp Verde, I think the fuel costs are about $2.80 a gallon for diesel. I bet in California it's over $3.60 a gallon. For the past 2 years, David and I have been talking about finally outfitting our RV for being able to stay in colder climates. For example, we've talked about getting a skirt for the RV, heated tanks or tank heaters, wrapping some pipes so that, like with heated tape so that they won't freeze. All this stuff. We were even thinking about fully enclosing the underbelly and then heating that so that you don't have to worry about frozen tanks. And that just costs money and it's time. And when the time comes and it finally starts to get cold, instead of doing that, we both typically just go, Arizona, let's go to Arizona. It's fine. It's for us, it's the path of least resistance. It's going to cost us a lot of money to make those modifications to our trailer, so I guess we just keep putting it off. It's a lot easier for us to just drive south where it's warm and not even worry about getting our coats out, I guess. I don't know. Maybe someday we'll end up staying.
You're wearing a coat.
Okay, this is just because the breeze is a little chilly. I'm wearing a skirt.
Not getting our coats out.
This is a jacket. It's a jacket.
And all that work on the trailer it's not just time and money, but it's work.
It is a lot of work.
For me.
Yeah, for David.
Not work for her. I'd be the one doing it. We all know that.
I wouldn't do any. Nope. I wouldn't do any of that. Nope. If any of you are thinking about snowbirding and have never snowbirded before, I have a couple places that I'd like to recommend that we've been that we think are just perfect places to snowbird. Now, if you're wanting to snowbird and go boondocking, I recommend places like Quartzsite and Lake Havasu. They have big, massive areas where you can boondock for extended periods of time. Quartzsite even offers long-term essentially, I think it's you pay for it, but it's long-term boondocking. And then if you're not wanting to boondock, if you're wanting to stay in an RV park or something, the places that I highly recommend are Yuma, Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, and Lake Havasu, Arizona. These are all in Arizona. Arizona, like we said, we think is the best place to snowbird.
Just 8 miles from our campsite is the V Bar V Heritage Site. The V Bar V Ranch was founded around 1907 for raising cattle until the land was transferred to the National Forest Service in 1994. But this former grazeland holds safe much more than remnants of an old cattle ranch. A flat and easy 0.4 mile walk in the warm Arizona sun is all it takes to reach our destination, which is something we've seen before, but never in this abundance. Here lies an entire wall of petroglyphs carved by the Sinagua people between 1150 and 1400 AD, some of which we know the meaning of. The sun, corn, and festival dancing. But sadly, the meaning behind the majority has been lost to time. Not even modern ancestors can decipher them. However, the most interesting part of these petroglyphs is that they are an ancient solar calendar. Our guide Rudy described how the Sinagua people used this calendar to know when to plant and harvest crops and when to celebrate. This picture shows how in certain parts of the year, 2 rocks will allow a shaft of sunlight to illuminate parts of the calendar's instructions. Unfortunately though, just a year ago, one of these rocks fell to the ground and it will not be replaced out of respect to the Native Americans in the region, so the calendar no longer casts its signaling beam of light to instruct its long-gone creators in their farming practice. Rudy speculated the meaning behind many other petroglyphs nearby the calendar and told us of a long-term threat to their existence. A lichen has been growing on the rocks and in the petroglyphs. And once a lichen digs its tiny roots into the rocks, if it dies, the rocks will crumble away with it, destroying the petroglyphs. The lichen formed because of shade cast by nearby trees, which were originally planted by V Bar V ranchers to string rope from one to the other to keep cattle from rubbing against the walls and wearing the petroglyphs away. Little did they know that their efforts in conservation would result in potential future destruction, as there is currently no known method of lichen removal that won't destroy the petroglyphs.
Checking out the heritage site here at the old V Bar V ranch location has just been so cool. I love seeing just so many petroglyphs in just this tiny little area. It's so cool just to see history left behind and be able to know what some of it means and just kind of speculate what other things mean. That's so cool to us. And we got to see Pulaski and Honanki heritage sites in the area, but there are other ones here too. There's one, what is this called? What do they call it? Tuzagoot? We hadn't even heard of that one before. And there's Montezuma's Well and Montezuma's Castle. There are so many cool historical sites around here to see, and it really makes me want to know more about how the Indian people lived in this area. So interesting. With all these heritage sites in the area, you just know that the ancient Indian activity in the area was just so much. I'm sure there's so much that hasn't even been uncovered yet that they don't even know about. And it just blows my mind to think about what happened out here all those years ago. But we are done here and we are gonna head back home because I have been craving me some chocolate and we got some brownie mix and I am gonna make me some brownies.
I'm so excited for these brownies. It is Jenny's secret family recipe passed down. It just makes the best gooey, chocolatey brownies ever. Oh, so good.
Yeah, secret family recipe, all right.
Okay, fine. All right, fine. It's Betty Crocker. Are you happy? Are you happy?
They're still good. They're still really yummy.
Delicious. Easy, quick, and delicious.
I'm so ready. Mash it to get it a little wet first, otherwise it's just gonna spray everywhere.
While those brownies are cooking, I am cooking up a couple of burgers, and they're not regular burgers. Jenny, because of her stomach issues, decided to stop eating meat, or at least red meat, I think, right? Anyway, we got a couple of these Boca veggie burgers, and they're made out of soy, and they are surprisingly good. And they have 13 grams of protein, so that's pretty awesome. But yeah, we had these last night for the first time. And they were delicious.
Yeah, they taste like Salisbury steak, right?
Better than that. They kind of, while you're cooking them, it sort of smells like that. But I don't know. They just taste like really well-seasoned burgers to me.
Yeah, and you've got your onion buns over there.
Heck yeah.
Those are the best, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Best for sure. So to update some of you guys on my stomach issues, because we've gotten tons and tons of comments. You guys are so super supportive. You guys are just the best, honestly. Not only have I changed to more of a pescatarian type diet, which David is all for. He hasn't switched diets, but he likes some of the stuff I'm cooking, so that's cool. And the thing that has actually helped the most, though, has been to cut out coffee. A week ago, I stopped drinking coffee altogether. I switched to black tea. And I haven't even had to take my stomach medicine anymore. I've had no nausea, no pain. It has been amazing. David has heard no complaints from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no complaints.
Yeah, apparently
so,
it was like acidic foods or acidic beverages. Yeah, like coffee were the main issue.
Yeah, so no more coffee. Even David's cutting back on coffee.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm doing it just because I don't like being dependent on stuff in the morning. You know, like I have to have my cup of coffee. So I'm cutting back. I've been doing it super slow to avoid caffeine withdrawals. And I'm down to a half mug per day. And then I'm going to switch to black tea like Jenny and then eventually green tea.
Yep, so we're getting there. Maybe a little bit healthier of a lifestyle, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Healthy lifestyle as store-bought brownies are cooking in the oven.
Shut up.
Yeah, healthy. Healthy!
Hey, I'm allowed to indulge sometimes.
Those are soy brownies!
Those are made out of tofu. Those are tofu brownies.
The tofu brownies, sugar-free, right? No, not at all.
No. Betty Crocker. I'm allowed to indulge sometimes because you know what? The last time I indulged was a week ago.
Indulge? It's about to be It's about to be two people indulging on an entire sheet of brownies.
We don't have to share these with anybody.
It's gonna be gone in about 2 or 3 days. You know that.
Oh, for sure. I'm so hungry. I'm really good, thank you.
What?
It's like real good, Nico.
You're welcome. Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. However, these brownies are super crispy, like they're like bricks. But these ones are nice and mushy.
Soft and mushy.
Yeah. So that's part of the fun of baking in an RV stove. It's really difficult and weird.
It's really easy to burn the bottoms. These are overly done and this is the soft side, so.
Or maybe we just don't know what we're doing. We probably just don't know what we're doing.
I don't know.
No, we run into this problem a lot though.
This happens a lot when we bake.
Yeah. But we're gonna go ahead and call it a night here and enjoy our brownies. Catch you guys later.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy our videos, please consider supporting us on Patreon. It's a huge help and allows us to directly invest in the channel to make better content. We'll see you next time.